Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Greenberg, and welcome to this ESPN Classic presentation of the 1981 National League Championship Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Montreal Expos. How we got to this matchup was rather unique. 1981 was a strike year, and 8 weeks of that season was canceled. Part of the strike settlement resulted in the first split-season campaign since 1892. In the National League West, the first-half winner, Los Angeles, defeated the second-half winner, Houston, in a best-of-5 series. In the East, the Expos beat the first-half winner, Philadelphia. And Cincinnati, who had the best overall record and finished second in both halves, did not even qualify for the postseason. In the greatest moment of his career, LA's Rick Monday broke a nation's heart by ending Canada's first chance at a World Series. His Game 5 two-out, ninth-inning home run off of Montreal's Steve Rogers made Monday the second player to clinch a league championship series with a last-inning homer and sent the Dodgers to their 17th National League title. By the way, Chris Chambliss had ended the 1976 ALCS against the Kansas City Royals. And joining me now on the program is baseball analyst Tim Kirchin. And Tim, in terms of all-time playoff home runs, where does Monday's rank?
Well, it wasn't Carlton Fisk, certainly, and it wasn't Kirk Gibson's home run, but it was pretty darn good because it got the Dodgers to the World Series, which they won, and it was the last and only time that the Expos have ever been in the playoffs, and they've only been close really once in the last 15 or so years. So that made it significant. And remember, this game was rained out on a Sunday, so they had to play it on a Monday. And in the top of the ninth inning, the first two guys hit balls to the warning track, near home runs, and then Rick Monday, age 40, comes up and hits one out. It was a very, very important home run in the history of the Dodgers, but maybe more important in the history of the Expos, and that's why they still call it Blue Monday up there.
And Monday had the heroics on a Monday, ironically, and he did it, as you mentioned, against Steve Rogers, a starting pitcher who was in a relief role.
Right, and Steve Rogers, the best pitcher in the history of the Expos, a starting pitcher who was called in to pitch the ninth inning. Now, I just found out not too long ago that Jeff Reardon, who was the closer on that Expo team, had talked about his back being hurt, and was he available for that game. Now, Jim Fanning, the manager of the Expos, took a lot of heat for putting a starting pitcher into the ninth inning of that game, but it's possible now that Jeff Reardon was not healthy enough to pitch. He said he was after the game. So now here it is almost 20 years later, and there is still some intrigue as to why Steve Rogers was in that game and not Jeff Reardon.
Tim, we talked a little bit about the bizarre format and the way those teams got there. Does that and the fact that it was a strike season take anything away from the magnitude of the game?
Well, I think it does. I mean, 81 was one of the strangest seasons in the history of baseball. I mean, the first game back after the strike was the All-Star game, and the whole thing about the Reds having the best record in the league and not going to the playoffs really tainted the whole season to some degree anyway. But still, Rick Monday shouldn't be penalized for that. He had a tremendous home run off a tremendous pitcher in Game 5 of the clinching Game 5 in the ninth inning. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
No, it doesn't. We've talked about it. Now let's let you see it. Let's get you to the game in progress. In the first inning, the series-clinching Game 5 of the 1981 NLCS, Dodgers and Expos, right here on ESPN Classic.
Here's the Dodger lineup. Dave Lopes and Bill Russell and Dusty Baker. Steve Garvey in the cleanup spot. He's had a magnificent series so far. Rod Say in the fifth spot. Rick Monday, the veteran in right field. Pedro Guerrero, Mike Scioscia, and Fernando Valenzuela. Russell so far has had 3 hits and 12 at-bats against Montreal in the League Championship Series.